Hey, all you arcade nerds. Alright. What's going on, all you arcade enthusiasts? In this video, I'm going to make a mold of a part that I'm missing on my Major Havoc machine. A buddy of mine was nice enough to let me borrow the front part of a control panel. It's about this big, okay? It's a solid block of aluminum, and maybe it's cast aluminum, but it's the whole front part of the control panel. And I don't have it. And so I was actually debating on learning how to sand cast or do something like that and actually pour some aluminum in. But I'm thinking, you know what, let's just go with epoxy resin. And so I was looking at some of the prices of silicone and whatever, and I decided no silicone molds. I want to do this as cheaply as possible. So I ended up getting a bag of, don't laugh at me, a bag of drywall putty. They sell this drywall putty that sets up in like 20 minutes. And 20 minutes after you mix water, that drywall putty is hard as a rock. So I'm gonna use that. Well, I'm afraid it might shrink. I don't really know. I never made a mold with drywall putty before. So let's see what happens. Okay, this is my control panel. And this is a piece that I borrowed. Now, this is a solid block of aluminum. Okay? This is supposed to go right here on the front of the Major Havoc. Well, I don't have this piece, so I'm going to try and experiment. We're going to see if this is going to work. I don't know, but I'm going to get some Easy Sand 20. Now, what this is drywall putty that's supposed to be sandable in 20 minutes. So in other words, it sets up in like 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this original piece, okay? And I was hoping for Vaseline or something, but I didn't get it, I forgot. So I'm going to be using coconut oil. So we're just really doing an experiment here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slather this thing with coconut oil, and I'm going to cover it with Easy Sand drywall putty, and I'm going to make a mold. And when I do make this mold, hopefully it doesn't crack as it dries, but when I make this mold, will then fill the mold with epoxy resin, and I will make my own copy of this piece. I'm actually going to be making two of these. So one for me and one for another buddy of mine that has a dedicated Major Havoc. So wish me luck. I don't know. I have made other parts. I have made parts for other machines using this method, but I used Bondo to make the molds instead, so we'll see how this works out. Okay, so I have some of this coconut oil on a paper towel. I'm kind of just going to wipe the whole countertop down a little bit. And I'm going to get a little bit more of this coconut oil. This is a total experiment. Some of you guys that know how to make molds of different types are probably laughing at me, but I don't care. Okay, so this thing is covered in coconut oil. And I'm just going to mix up this putty right over here. And that is, I'm just going to slather it over there, let it dry, and see where we go. Okay, so I have this crap right here. Just gonna kind of, I don't know. Maybe I should have went the Bondo route. This crap all over me. Hard to work with. Let me wet my hands. This is ridiculous. Maybe I should have went wetter. I just figure that the thicker, or the wetter I get it, the more it's going to shrink. Because I'm pretty sure, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure this stuff's going to shrink some as it dries. So I'm trying not to get it too wet. And I'm figuring that it might crack as it shrinks. So, you get the idea. Hopefully this oil that I put on there will stop it from sticking so much. And hopefully I was able to put this on without any bubbles forming around it. Now, if there is a bubble, I mean, I got sandpaper. I can just, you know, sand it and fill it in, but, you know, let's try to get the mold as best as we can. So I'm just gonna let this big giant piece of crap sit on the countertop and dry for a while, and let's see what happens. Okay, it's been sitting for about 10 minutes, and it's already pretty firm. And I broke it free a little bit from the countertop. So let's see what we get. Oh. Yeah, it looks like I could have maybe made it a little thinner, because it's kind of, there's a bunch of air bubbles, air pockets, like I feared. But it didn't crack. I'm going to go ahead and make a second mold, and I'm probably going to fill in these little areas a little bit, so there'll be less sanding on the end piece. I'm going to make a second mold, because I'm going to make 2 of these. And yeah, I mean, this actually turned out not too bad. Not bad, man. I'll sand that down. Alright. Okay, so I ended up making 2 molds, and the first one wasn't as good as the second one here. But, you know, the good thing about it is any air bubbles is going to be on the outside, so I'll have to sand it down. It's not like I'll have to add more material, you know. But this actually ended up being usable. I'll use this. But, you know, I was worried about shrinkage. Check this out. Bloop. Bloop. There is 0 shrinkage. 0 shrinkage. And so, I guess this is a good idea. Maybe I'll make molds like this more in the future. So, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this up with fiberglass epoxy resin. I'm going to use this stuff. The same kind of stuff you buy at Walmart for like boats, to repair a boat or do automotive body work, like on a Corvette or something. So yeah, I'm gonna mix that up. I was thinking about maybe putting like a little bit of black Rust-Oleum paint in there, so it kind of tints it. But you know what? I don't know if that's a good idea. I'm worried maybe it'll never totally dry or something like that. So I don't know. You know, I'll do that some other time on some other project to try it out and see how it works, because I don't want to have to come back and fix another problem later or have to redo this all over again. But yeah, I'm actually you know, it looks like crap, but it's going to be good in the end. It's going to be perfect. It's going to make the piece that I need for me and my buddy needs also. So once again, I really appreciate my buddy letting me borrow this stupid piece. But yeah, so let me mix some resin. You know what? I dumped an entire bottle of resin in this bowl, and I thought, what the hell? I'll put 1 teaspoon. I did 1 little teaspoon of Rust-Oleum, and I'm very impressed. Look at that! 1 teaspoon turned this whole bowl black. You know what? I don't think 1 teaspoon is gonna hurt. So the reason I just tinted the resin black is in case I get a scratch or something. You know, at least it'll be a scratch and it'll expose black. You know, but you know what? I don't think 1 teaspoon is gonna affect this that much. That's awesome. Okay, so I mixed up my hardener. I'm just going to go ahead and pour this stuff in. Let me get this a little more level. See, I put some towels underneath this trash bag so I can kind of position it. We'll let that rise over a little bit. Go over this one. Hopefully I have enough mixed up. I'm getting close to where maybe I don't.
I think you got it.
Yeah, we made it. That was 1 whole bottle. One whole container of resin. That's $14 of resin. So I need to pick this side up a little bit. I don't care where it's a little high. I can always sand it down. Yeah. Might as well overfill it, so what? Just so I know I have enough. Damn, wish there was something else I could use some resin on. What can we use resin on?
I don't know.
Alright.
Nothing that I can think of.
So yeah, let me read the instructions on the can and see what how long this stuff will take to set up. Well, these have both sat for a day, and busted that one out of the mold. Take these screws out so you can kind of get an idea. See that? So now I'm gonna have to, I belt sanded it a little bit, but now I'm gonna have to get maybe get a razor blade, notch it, and belt sand some more. I'm probably gonna have to use some Bondo to fill in some of the imperfections, but I mean, you know, zoom in, take a look at that. I mean, it's a good starting point, you know. But let me show you what I did. Now this one, I mixed a little drier, so we'll see if I can do it. But I just broke it like this, like bam, and there it is. So that's what I start off with. This I'm gonna have to do some sanding, of course, and sanding and some Bondo and whatever. But we'll make 2 of these. Okay, so what I did with this, I just got a razor blade and I kind of broke off some of the edges like this. It definitely helped me out with sanding. Don't have the best razor blade for this, but whatever. This will help me out a lot with sanding. And these things are solid, man. Next time I do this, I don't think I'm going to use drywall putty though. I think I'm going to use Bondo. So yeah, I've made a mold of an iRobot control panel. Or I made quite a few of them. And I sold them all off. Then one day I got an iRobot cabinet to put a iRobot control panel on. So, but yeah, this ain't bad. I'm just being real tough with it because this stuff does not want to cut. Yeah, that'll save me a lot of sanding. We're getting there. Okay, I just finished sanding, and these are still wet because I just kind of washed off the powder. But this is the original, and these two are the ones I made. Kind of get a different view of it here, and there's little divots here and there, you know, and there was some imperfections on the original. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a skim coat, a little thin coat of Bondo, and yeah, right there, to kind of fill in the imperfections. Yeah, I'm also going to have to drill holes, and I'm actually going to tap them in the same exact spots so the same bolts will fit in. These are heavy though, man. They are not much different than the aluminum. I was kind of surprised to see how heavy epoxy resin is. But yeah, so let me do a skim coat of Bondo. I'll do a final sand, and we're going to spray it black, and just because I'm going to spray this one black too, why not? Okay, found a great use for one of these stupid Cherry Master bezels. A little bit of Bondo, a little bit of hardener. And I'm just going to do a skim coat. And I'll just sand that off later. But you guys get the idea. I just added a little bit more Bondo here, but I went ahead and I did like a finishing sand. I'm going to do one last sand, and then we're going to get to paint. But definitely got all the imperfections out, that Bondo. I went ahead and did the finished sand, and I just washed it off and I let it dry. So I'm getting ready to put a coat of semi-gloss Rust-Oleum on there. I'm kind of torn. I don't know if it's really a gloss or if it's a semi-gloss. If I don't like it, if it doesn't look right, I guess I'll put gloss over it, but let's see what this turns out. I'm also going to paint the other one, the original, just for giggles. Bondo likes to absorb paint a little bit, so this is probably going to be one of 2 coats. Well, it's looking great. I mean, as of now, if you mix these around, I wouldn't be able to tell which one's which, which is awesome. Also, I noticed this kind of had like a textured look to it, I mean, the original. So I may come back and like hit it with like a, ooh, I don't know. Let me think about it. I may hit it with like a, just a light hint of hammered metal. Just barely, just a dusting, and then come back and spray over it again. I don't know. Or this might be good enough. Find out. That looks good to me. Let's let this dry. Well, now they're all painted. Can you guys tell which one is original? Let's get a good look around. Which one of these is the real deal, and which 2 are the fakes? Can you tell? Well, that one's the real one, and these 2 are the ones I made. Looks beautiful. So now I'm gonna have to, I just painted this control panel also. I'm gonna have to bring it up to the control panel. I'm gonna get it under the drill press. I'm gonna drill it, and I'm gonna tap it so it has the threads, because this originally kind of bolted in, and so that's where we're at. And I did happen to find some carriage bolts, so that's gonna hold the track ball in, or the roller ball, I guess I should say. But so I'm gonna go home, and I'm gonna put this overlay on. And we'll get a lot closer. We're getting closer. Soon we will have a complete Major Havoc. Now it's mounted onto the control panel. It's looking beautiful. Check that out. No way you could tell if that was a brand new part. Looks awesome. So I'm getting ready to put on the control panel overlay. Well, I put the control panel overlay on, and let me show you the final results. I think this thing looks beautiful. I still got to tighten down the carriage bolts, but there's the front piece. Jeez, oh man, I'm standing in front of the camera, but I'm so close that I don't know if I could zoom out. There's some zooming out action there. Yeah. Beautiful. So, won't be much longer and I'll have a Major Havoc control panel going. Hey, if you guys like what you see, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, give me some kind of comment at the bottom if you would, because I enjoy reading the comments. Okay, have a good one.